Hello. They're both pretty.
I'm a huge fan of that pen.
Well,
As a solo pen.
get them on Amazon.
Billy, you're here.
It's my last day of school.
What are you talking about?
Can't do it no more.
Oh, you're gonna be just fine.
Can't do it no more.
All right.
I said, were you tired that day at practice when they kept calling Zara? Yes.
All right.
They kept calling. He was like,
All right, we're gonna kind of switch up things a little bit today. And did they do what? Yeah.
We got a lot of people.
You have a lot of people what?
On Zoom.
Yeah. We have some Zoomers today for different reasons, various reasons. I'm gonna give people, well, we still have another minute for class starts, so I'm gonna give people another minute to come in. I'm gonna get the attendance going.
Which file are we working with today?
Hey, did y'all have that scrimmage this weekend? How'd that go? Was that fun? Did you feel normal again a little bit? A little bit, maybe. There's Kiara, Isaiah, Devron, Billy, Emily. I don't see Grace yet. Bryant, Ben, Marge, Jarrett. He has a doctor's appointment. And this. All right, let's see. So who is not accounted for? Grace. Okay, well, I'll wait and chime her in later. All right, guys, we are going to mix things up a little bit today from what we were doing. And I've kind of thought about things because we had to kind of switch over how I was going to do the InDesign portion due to the textbooks mix up. I was putting you with the older textbook, which I didn't like, but I was just going to try it. And I don't like it enough to give it up, or I don't like it enough to keep going with it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, we're going to kind of do a blended continuation where I might use some of the stuff from the old book, but I think I'm gonna try to use some of the stuff from the new book as well, but just kind of, instead of you having to have the book, just walk you through the steps that I want you to do with the programs. And just learning what I want you to learn from InDesign as an intro from it. And that's what I don't think the old book does a good job. It jumps right into like getting you to edit books. And I'm like, that's not how I would learn InDesign. There's some better ways to do that. So we've been working on Unit 7 worksheet this week. So it's right here. I do still want you to do the short answer just to know some of the terminology, to know those types of things. So continue to do 1 through 8, and it is due tonight.
So just do 1 through 8.
Yeah.
The assignments underneath it. Or
is this from Unit 7 or Unit 8?
Unit 7 is due today, and then we're going to work through Unit 8. I have it due Monday, but I'm going to change it to be due Wednesday because we're going to work through everything you need to know in class on Monday and Wednesday. Okay. Friday is going to still be a lab day, but we should get through all the stuff you need to turn in by today. And so Friday, I want you to watch these 3 videos. That's your job for Friday. These 3 links right here I want you to watch those, and that's class, okay? So I'll ask you about those on Monday. All right, that's easy peasy. Watch those 3 videos. This right here isn't a video. It is so it's 2 videos, and then this right here is some reading on the Adobe website, and it gives you just a bunch of information that I want you to know, okay? So it's 2 videos and a website. So just review those 3 links for me, okay? So that's your Friday. I'm not letting you completely off, but that's enough to feel like I'm keeping you learning. So if you go to Unit 7 worksheet down at the bottom, we've done 1 and 2, the Declaration of Independence and the drop cap. If you've gotten those and you've screenshotted those, that's good. Put those up on Shobi, just like some of you already have. And then today we're going to do 3 more things, but you're not going to need to open up any files or anything like that for that. I'm just going to show you and you're just going to follow me. So everybody open up InDesign. And for people at home, I need to have Zoom up and you can see my screen, but then you're going to have your screen up, your InDesign up too. I don't know if you can do Zoom like on your phone and then be able to use your cell phone, or just put my screen up real little and have it. I know it's hard because it kind of needs 2 screens to do what we're doing, but try to make the best of it as you can. So the first thing we're doing, there are files for these 2, 3, and 4 on those links that I gave you, but you don't really need them because it's just two words each file. So you're just going to type those in. And so the goal is we're still going to work on a little bit of text. I am going to show you and kind of make sure you do know a little bit of the formatting text stuff before we go back in, and we're going to create a file from scratch for number 5. Okay. But so this first part shouldn't take us that long. But I'm going to show you our goal. So if you do click on this, what numbers? Let me make sure I know. It's 2, 6, D, and E. Yeah, C got chopped. Okay, so we're gonna create a file and make the words Latin lingo to work on kerning. And I want you to create it and make it. So all you're gonna do is go to File, go to New, and do New Document. And you can just make it a whatever. You can make it a print document and just make it a letter. So just like you're printing it out on notebook paper, okay? Doesn't matter. All right, so everybody, I'm gonna wait till everybody has InDesign open and a new document. And you can name it 2-6D.
Am I missing where it says like the CD? I just say ID 2-6.
No. You don't need to click on anything on here. You're just going into InDesign and creating a new document.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, or not. I'm not going to make you download any files. We're just going to do this from scratch because that's going to be easier. You can name it. Let's see. It's 2-6D. It's number 3, Unit 7, number 3, whatever.
Well, it's Latin lingo.
Yeah, you can also name it Latin lingo if you'd like to. Okay, so everybody have it up? Give me a thumbs up if we got it up. Okay. Now, Brian, I know you've already done this through my video, and so you're good. You can just watch if you've already submitted it. Okay. Same thing with anybody else. If anybody else got ahead, Bryant got ahead of us. All right, so we're going to go over here to the text box bar right here. In InDesign, the things that you're going to be doing are adding text and adding images. And then there's like a huge amount of things you can do to format the text and format the images. But those are the main 2 things you're going to be doing with InDesign: laying things out and then Emily, I think there you go. And adding images. And so a big part of the thing is drawing text boxes. Now we're going to get into a lot of things with text boxes when you're adding lots of text to a document, how to put it in columns, how to like if you have 16 pages of text, how to add it all with one click. We're going to get to there. But right now, just know that we're going to learn to draw a text box. Your text box in InDesign is as big as you draw it. That means like it's not going to expand on its own. You have to expand and drag it as you draw. So what I'm going to do right now is take my little cursor and just like normally you draw a text box. I'm going to draw about that big, okay? And then I'm going to type the words in Latin, all caps, lingo. And the reason we're doing this is to show you letters that you might need to adjust the kerning on. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to go into my my character panel. I have mine set on essentials right now because I was doing something that needed it. You can also go back to typography and it has it like this, like we were looking at yesterday. So character, I'm going to make mine Adobe Garamond Pro. I want you to do something that has serifs. Does everybody remember what serifs are? Serifs are when a text has little feet on it, where it's not just straight up and down. Garamond Pro is one. American Typewriter is one. Die Dot is one. Minion Pro, Baskerville, Gil Sans is not. So pick one of those. But I'm gonna do Adobe Garamond Pro. If you have Adobe Garamond Pro, that's good. Now, once you have that, I want you to make it big. You might not have it on your computer, the one that I have. Do Baskerville or everybody should have Baskerville or Dido. Everybody can find one of those. You just need a serif font. Serif means it has little feet on it. You see these little things that pop up at the end of the L right here, those little lines, those are called feet. I'm going to make it as big as I can with the text box I drew. Now see if I go here, it'll start going down. I could make my text box bigger. Use the guides. So just make it, and I'm going to center it just because. All right, now I want everybody to look at this. And this is why we're doing this. Does this, do any of the spaces look a little off between the words, between the letters?
Maybe the N and the G.
The N and the G, exactly. It looks like they're too far apart, right? But that's just how that font is. Fonts are designed with spacing in between each letters, but sometimes when they're all capital letters, the spacing isn't necessarily perfect. If you want it to fit together, depending on which two letters are beside each other. So if you're doing something like this and you think, oh, the spacing's not quite right, you can adjust the kerning. And the kerning is just the space in between the letters. So to do that, we're going to highlight the N and the G. And if you go down here and you hover over, you see this is, come on, font size, kernings right here. So that's what we're going to work on. Right here is tracking. That's the space in between words. And then right here is letting. That's the space in between lines. Right here is the vertical scale. You can actually make your font taller or shorter. And then right here is horizontal scale. You can make your font fatter so you can kind of play around with these just to see what happens. Baseline shift, you can make them go up. We did that a little bit yesterday. And then a skew. You can add an italic to a font if that font doesn't have an italic option. Not all fonts have bold and italic and all that. Sometimes you have to do it manually, just depending on how that font was designed. But for this, we're going to adjust the kerning. So you see right here where beside kerning it says metrics. We are just going to go we're going to go down a little bit. Or it's actually doing it in tracking. So it's actually using the tracking one to do it for some reason in this one. Must be an update. Now I use a keyboard shortcut to do this for kerning and tracking because I don't like to go over there and have to click on those arrows. If you push Option and move your arrows forward and backwards, it does it for you. And I feel like it just gives you a little bit of control on it. So it was about right there at 0. I'm going to knock it in to about -40. Do you think that looks a little bit better, a little bit more natural looking? Yeah. You could even possibly go to -60. And that might be actually, I think that actually looks a little bit better. Now, there's one other letter here that you might want to adjust a tiny bit. You see how the A and the T kind of overlap a little bit here? We want to give them a little bit more space here. And so I'm going to add a little bit of space between the A and the T. And now I made that, let's see, I made that 40. So I gave that a little bit of space. So now, and then I might actually fix the L. It needs a little bit. The L and the A, I think the L is a little too close to the A. It won't let you do what? Try
It won't
the,
let me do it
for some
either.
reason it's using the tracking on this version. I don't know why. I just do Option and then do the arrows. And it's not actually moving anything over here. And so, but that is called kerning when you're doing that, okay? So if everybody has gotten theirs to where it looks all right, screenshot this and we're gonna move on, okay? Let me look at it. Does anybody else want me to look at theirs? Okay. So highlight the N and the D. Did you already do it?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Highlight the N and the D. Okay. Push Option, and then at the same time move this back through. Yeah. That's how you do it. And then you can go over here and highlight the A and the T, push Option and push it forward twice. That's how you give yourself a little bit more space or take away space between letters. That's all.
So like this right here.
You want to give that a little bit more space? You can. So this is all about what looks right to you for your design. This is how you can fix that if you're designing something and you want it to look spaced out or close the spaces a little bit.
Okay, screenshot this.
Yeah, screenshot that and upload it for credit. Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to do is called crushing impact. So once you get that screenshot completed, I'm going to show you another thing we're going to do, playing around with the how you can manipulate text. So where did I go? Here we go. So we're doing 2-6E. You can just delete that text box that you drew on that one document and do another one. It doesn't matter. We're not going to really save these. Well, where is the, doesn't even give me a, for some reason the photo's not even showing up right. I'll show it on my video. All right. So here's my video, and this is what we're going to get it to look like at the end. So sometimes you want words to look like what they say. This is a tactic of typography. And so these two words right here say crushing impact. And what does the font look like it's doing? It looks like it's crushing the impact, right? So we're going to make that happen. How would you make this happen? There's always a few ways to do it, but I'm going to show you one way. So You can create a new one and then just do a text box and write these words. It doesn't matter what font at this point because we're going to change it. All cap, yes ma'am. All right. Once you get crushing impact, go ahead and make it, make it a little bit, make it bigger and center it in your paper. Okay. Now, if you look at this video, this is a sans serif font. What makes it sans serif? Okay, Devron, what does the word sans mean in French? S-A-N-S. What? I can't hear you. How to do. No. All right, French student. He said he. I know. You just sitting here telling me you're fluent in French. I'm just testing you. Sans in French, S-A-N-S, means without. Okay, so this means without feet. This font doesn't have those little lines. Okay, so it's a sans serif. So we want to change our font to a sans serif. So highlight it. And let's go over to our character panel and let's find a sans serif. A really popular one to use for something like this is called impact. Makes sense because that's actually the word we're doing, right? So I changed it to impact. Now we want to make crushing. This is our goal. We want to make it bigger and taller. Okay, so I'm going to take crushing and I'm going to make it bigger. It's going to make it as big as I can in my text box. Okay, so that's good. But now I want to stretch it because I want it to look real tall and contrast impact. So I'm going to go down here to this little vertical scale button and I'm going to click it up. You don't need two separate boxes. You just have to highlight the right word. This is up to you. See, so make it look about like that. So mine's tall and big. So we're going for this look right here. Now, I might adjust the kerning between the U and the S just to make it look a little bit, and the R and the U, just to make it look crushed in there together a little bit. So this is up to you how you want it to look. Undo is Command Z. Okay, so I made the kerning a little bit different here. I'm making it about -20 just to crush it in. And then just for me, myself, I did 175 for the expanding of the height. Now, we want impact to look like this. So it's a little bit like shorter and fatter. Okay, so how are we going to do that? First of all, I need to bump up the size. Did you change the font size or the font type? And now I'm going to make it fatter with this one. I might make it a little bit smaller too. Maybe a little less fat. But I want it to be the same width as crushing. So I'm just going to play around with it until I think it looks right. How do I do what? These two buttons over here I'm playing with. So this one right here that goes up and down, and this one goes wide. Okay. So you want to expand it, and then you want to make it short and fat. Okay. Yeah. Now, you see how they're apart from each other? And we want it to touch. See how this one's touching? We're gonna adjust the leading. So highlight both. And over here it's set to auto. We don't want it 6. So you can push option and down. So you don't have to guess on what number you want. Yes, character. But I just highlighted it. And I'm clicking option down. If you're on a non-Mac, it's alt down. Ben, is that right?
I think so. I'm like, no.
Okay.
Which one is leading?
Which one's what?
Leading.
Leading is right here.
Yeah,
So my leading, it's now set to 65, but I did it with the keyboard shortcuts. I think that's easier by highlighting both, pushing the option key and the down arrow or the up arrow, whichever one you want. And I'm putting just the tiniest bit of space in between them.
question.
Yes, sir.
My text box has like the blue line still. And it's like, for some reason, the way it's like, it comes through my word question. How do I get the text box to like disappear? Let's do this and like, if I go on this slide.
Take the text box and raise it up.
And I just like decrease it.
Yeah, to highlight both of them.
Is this it? You did take a screenshot.
Yeah, take a screenshot. Sorry. Good? Yeah. Yeah. Make yours as wide as crushing. So go, you can make this a little bit bigger too. There you go. All right, screenshot that. Sometimes it depends on where you start your cursor. And see how I started it there and I started down through the first spot. Don't ask me why. All right, so screenshot that and upload that. Now we're going to go on to our last thing for the day, which is introducing you to layout on InDesign. Okay, so we're all going to start with a new document. So I'll give everybody a second to get all that saved and uploaded. Yeah, you don't need to save that. So I'm just going to close it. Don't save. All right. We're going to create a double page spread, which would be like maybe a magazine article or something like that. Just to introduce you to the basics of InDesign. This is what I should have done instead of started y'all off with that book. But I tried. But I'm less concerned about y'all working independently and more concerned about y'all just knowing how to do fun things on InDesign and actually liking it. Calls. I'll show you. You don't worry about it yet. Okay. I'm waiting until everybody's ready. Everybody ready? Thumbs up. Thumbs up at home. Thumbs up here. Okay. So everybody, this is new for everybody. So Bryant, you can join back in time. All right. So this is a double page spread. And we're going to, it's as if you would open up a magazine and it would be the 2 pages right there of an article you're reading. Now, if you're going to do the whole magazine, of course, you can do all 79 pages, you know, on InDesign as well. But this is just as if we were working on one spread of it. So to do this, we're going to go to File, New, Document. It's going to give us that fun stuff. We're going to go to Print. And now over here, I want you to do Pages. Click 2. You can click 120. You can make it as many pages as you want, and you'll just scroll down and work on them as if you were working on a really big, long book. You can do that in InDesign, and that's what's really great about InDesign. If you're working on large documents, InDesign is the place to do that. Books. Yes, sir? Are you there? Devron, are you okay? Somebody help him out. Okay, so 2 pages. I'm going to click that. Now, make sure your thing says facing pages is clicked. Okay, you see that? Okay, now your margins are all set. You don't have to worry about those. We'll add all the other stuff in later. Okay, and then push create. Now, yours is going to look different than mine. What does it look like? Are the pages touching? No, we want the pages to touch. Okay, how are we going to get that? Go to Pages right here. Everybody see Pages? Okay, wait until y'all are there. Okay, Pages. Now, these pages right here, you should be able to move and do that, but you're not. I mean, the goal is we're going to get this and we're going to drag this up here and it's going to shift it. But we have to click an option first. So go into these 3 little bars right here and click Allow Document Pages to Shuffle. And then you're going to click this up until you get it side by side like that. Now, if you were to go ahead and click, you want a 3-page document. Yes.
How do you do it with 2 pages? Like, I missed it.
Okay, you go in here, you click off the arrow on Allow Document Pages to Shuffle. Then when you do that, you should be able to go over here on your pages and drag this little buddy up to where they're side by side. Everybody see that? And then you can zoom in and have those 2 pages in your spread. I'll help everybody get to that. So zoom out so you can see both once you got it. Good, 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 good. Getting there. Okay, click create. Sometimes you have to hold your mouth right. Do it there. It's not drag it. Click, go there. Click there. That's the one up there. Now, drag that one up. Sometimes you have to do it a few times to put it on this side. There you go. All right, everybody's good? All right, so we've created, huh?
I forgot where you, how you pulled it the file.
Go to Pages right here, and then these little buttons. Make sure Allow Document Pages to Shuffle is not clicked. Ben's helping you. Okay. All right, so we are going to create a document with 3 pictures and some text, okay? So what I want everybody to go do right now is go online and grab 3 pictures and put them on your desktop. I don't care what they are. Just don't do anything obscene. Go grab 3 pictures online. Doesn't matter what they are. I just want you to have 3 pictures. All right, everybody got their 3 pictures? Once you've gotten 3 pictures, I want you to go online as well. I don't really know, go to any type of news site and just copy and paste the text of a news article. Doesn't matter what. You just need, if you have a paper saved on your computer that has at least a page worth of text, grab that. We just need some text. So I'm gonna go to New York Times and I'm going to grab, I'm not gonna do anything political. You don't need the title. I'm gonna grab article text from right here.
I like this acronym in the middle.
You just need a few paragraphs because we can copy and paste them. Okay. Just copy the text. That's all you need. And then we can just paste what you have. It really doesn't matter what they are. I just want you to see how you can copy text and put it in here. Once you have text copied, I want you to go over to your document, grab the text box tool, and I want you to just draw a big text box and paste the text in. You can make the text box as wide as one of the pages, just like I did. Everybody see that? To give yourself more text, I'm gonna copy what I did 3 times just to make it long. And it's okay if it doesn't all fit in there because I'm gonna show you what to do with it. Okay, so I've just made one full page of text. Usually what happens. All right, everybody good? All right, the next thing that I want you to do is let's make a headline, okay? So it really doesn't matter what it is, but I'm gonna take a text box, draw a headline over here, and my headline is gonna be, here is my headline. I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna make it real big. It doesn't matter, you can if you want to. This is just learning how to place things, okay? I'm gonna make the font something, I'll make it Baskerville just for the fun of it. Okay, and now my text box, I'm gonna bring it up to where it just is around that text because I'm gonna put another text box underneath it and put by Michelle Moser. And I'm using these little guidelines right here. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna add a dominant photo in here. So how do I add a photo? I'm gonna go File, Place. Everybody following me? File, Place. And there's a few different ways to do photos. I'm just going to show you this way. I have a blue hydrangea right here. File, Place, and then it's going to open up a finder box to where you're going to find wherever the image is that you put. So if you dragged it on your desktop, do it one at a time. Just because of the way we're going to learn how to do it. Now, it gives me this little picture right here and it's floating around, okay? Some of you might have already had it on there. Wherever you draw it is where it's going to be and how big it's going to be. So I'm going to draw it right here. I'm going to make it this big because I'm going to play around with it. Now, what InDesign allows you to do is kind of crop things and resize things in its platform without losing the rest of the photo. So I don't want this photo to be that big. I want it to be about half that size. And so I'm going to crop it right now by making sure I'm on the first arrow selection tool, not the second one. We'll use the second one in a minute. But the first arrow tool is the top one. And I'm just going to take it and drag it up to about where I want it to be. Okay. So everybody have an image there?
Did you make it smaller?
I can't get an image. I've been like dragging it and trying to save it, and I can't get an image to save to my computer.
Do you have any
It's
images
like-
on your computer that you can use?
Yeah, I could try that.
Yeah, just do that.
I'd say because they won't let me drag
Okay.
it in or whatever. I don't know.
Once you have this, you can double click into the photo and then you can hold shift and you can make it smaller in the box where you don't want that because it's smaller than the box you made, or you can make it bigger in the box and drag it up to where the only thing you see is a big purple thing. You can kind of just play around with how you can edit the photo like this. You can also do a few things. This is the manual way to do it. If you control click or right click, if you're on a PC, you can, on the photo itself, you can get some fitting options. So this is really important. Everybody pay attention to this, okay? Your fitting options are fill frame proportionally. So in InDesign, you're working with the image itself. You're also working with the frame. So imagine yourself having a wooden frame that you're building. Your wooden frame stays the same size, right? If you're building it with wood. Now, if you cut it, the frame's going to move, but then you have a photo that goes inside the frame. And the photo inside the frame, you can make it whatever you want it to look like when you get it printed. So if we want the photo to be a real close crop of a flower, we're going to crop it and put it in that frame like that. It's two different things, but you can edit both of them individually in Photoshop, in InDesign. So right here, if I decide I want to make this smaller, if I crop it this way, it's not resizing the photo, it's resizing the frame. If I double click on it and hold shift, it's resizing the photo, not the frame. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, but then, can you do what? Command input?
No, command click.
Command put.
Oh, command like doing it, dragging it?
I don't do it like that, but you might be able to. So the other thing I was talking about is if you push control click or right click, you go to fitting, you can work with the frame or the photo. So this is fill frame proportionally. It's going to take the original size of that photo and fill it in your frame proportionally. So that's what this looks like. Now, it could also fit content proportionally. So the content is going to fit proportionally, but it's not going to fit the frame anymore, because if my image is a different size than my frame, then it's not going to it's going to go with the image on that one. Then if I want to do this, I can make the frame fit the content by doing this. And now this is the whole thing again, but I still want it the size that I wanted it. So it's going to fit my frame. If I do fit content to frame, that's going to distort it. It's going to put the whole picture in your frame, even if it's not the right size. You hardly ever want to do that because that's going to distort. So the one that you're going to do the most, if you're just starting to play around with it, is it's fill frame proportionally, okay? Or fit content proportionally if you want to see the exact size of your photo. And then you can go in, I usually just do it manually by myself by double clicking and using the orange arrow and getting it to look like how I want it to. And don't distort it. If you don't, it depends on the settings of your computer. If you have to hit shift to drag it, it will be distorted. If you don't have, figure out which one it is. Mine, I have to hit shift so it's not distorted. If I drag it without hitting shift, it distorts it. Are you following me with that? So like if I just drag this, I can make it tall and skinny and make the photo distorts. But I hit shift so it doesn't distort it. Okay. Now I want to start my story down here. So I'm going to take this text box, same thing. It has a frame, but that when I adjust the frame, I'm not losing the content. But I'm going to adjust the frame of all this text right here. And I'm going to make it fit right here. But I want to do this in columns. I want to make it 2 columns on each page. So how do I get that? I'm going to go to Layout, Margins, and Columns. Everybody there? See Layout up at the top right here? Go Margins and Columns. And now I'm going to give myself 2 columns per page. All right. Now I'm going to take this text box and drag it over to where it just fits that 1 column. Everybody give me thumbs up if you're following me. So back there in the back, all you got to do is go to Layout up at the top, Margins and Columns, hit that, knock it up to 2 columns and push OK. Then take all of your text, and remember, you're just affecting the frame. You're not losing the text if you drag it all. You're just putting it there. Now, everybody move their text right here. Everybody about there? Drag it to where the frame is right there. And we're going to work with the rest, what happens to the rest of that text next. That's the last thing we're going to do today. Okay? The last thing we're going to do today is figure out what happened to the rest of that text. And then we're going to do more with this next week. I'm just introducing it now. Okay? So everybody get their little text box there. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. You okay, Bryant?
I don't know where you got the text.
I just copied it from something.
Oh, just any.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can even do placeholder text, but I just wanted you to have more text than you needed because I wanted to show this. It's okay. Here, and now I want you to make the text box little like this. Don't worry about hiding the text. Just make the text box a little tiny square. Okay? Now, does everybody see this little red box right here? Does everybody have that on their text? Yes, you do? Yes, you do? Everybody have it? Okay. What you're going to do with that is I'm going to drag and show you how I would give myself a guide. So I want it to be right here because I want it to match this text box. I'm going to click on that red box. And what happens when you click on that red box? It picks up where you left off. Okay. Now I'm going to take it and draw another text box right here. I still have that red box there, right? Because I still have more text. Now I'm going to go place it over here. This is why I love InDesign, okay? Now, the last thing I'm going to do is show you how you would put your other pictures in here. We're just going to I did enough to only have maybe 1 more picture in here. You can put 2 of them in there. So you might file, place, and add your other photo here, okay? So everybody get to where you have something that looks like this and screenshot it. And that's what we're kind of doing today. Is just showing you how to place text, place images, and build columns. And we're getting into working with photos in Illustrator. Make your photo big so that whole thing is visible. Take this and drag it, the gray bar, drag it down and pop them back up in here. There you go. All right. getting that? You got your columns, so layout, margin of columns, 2. Okay, now drag this text box and fit it in this little square right here. Put your top arrow. Click on this. Take that and drag it down. You just want to make it a little box. Oh, no. So go. Take this arrow. This little box is on there. Yeah. Just make it small so you can fit it in there. And drag it down. Don't worry about losing that text. It's not going anywhere. Put your arrow in. Okay, and just fit it in there, drag it down where it fits. Make it fit in that column. So this the column gave guides. Drag it down with this. Make it on this. But, okay, you got a little red box. Click on that. Now, you can draw the box. Continue that step. That's hiding. Okay, and then do it again with this, and drag it there, and drag it there. All right? Stop. Okay? Yes, sir.
You're not making the 3 columns.
Okay, go to layout, margins columns,
I don't know.
number 2,
Oh, for 2 margins.
yep, 2 columns. There you go. So put all these 3, put these 2 photos side by side up there, and then drag that one over there. Get your arrow. And then drag them up there. Oh, you drag that on the inside of it. Hold on. Okay, click off it on, you click on the inside. Click them again. I'll drag them up. I just want to show you how to build a column. Put them over here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now take your text and make it small. Not in the text, not in the text. Give the, we're working with frames. Okay, so drag this frame down. You're not going to lose your text.
I can screenshot this.
Screenshot that. Okay? Good. And then you're going to get that little red box. You scroll down, you're off the page. No. Just here. No. This little red box, click on it. And then draw another box right here. And fill these 4 columns with text.
Yeah.
What you need. What picture? You go file,
Wait, was that or, this is unit 7, right?
and then, yes, this is 7. And then, and now, there we go. It's open, and then you're just gonna let it draw it. Okay. And then what you wanna do, you're gonna get these texts towards end of the column. See that? And make it smaller. So it just fits in that column. Okay? And now see this little red box? Click on it, it's gonna give you the rest of that text right here. And you're just gonna fill that column. Okay? So just do the same thing. You can copy this whole text right here. Now, I want you to do the same thing and make these 2 columns right here. See that little red box? We're gonna click on it and draw a box to fit this column. And you should have more and do the other column, okay? All right, good? Getting text there? Okay, so let's make this big, so double click on it. So let's not worry about it being this process. We just want to fill that space, okay? Now, this little box right here, just click on it, it gives you that extra text that's hiding. I'm gonna drag that, move it all over. Fill that. we want to do like one minute. Just copy and paste. So go ahead and take out and fill this column and then screenshot it. You can add another photo in there. All right, I'll see y'all on Monday. Don't forget to look at those links for your Friday assignment, okay? All right, you good, Billy? All right, take care, okay?